Hello and welcome back to another Foxy Hotel live stream. Here live on Twitch, playing on some truly Bedrock. Hello, Polar Chair, who has been following for 2 years, 4 months, 25 days, 12 hours, 7 minutes and 9 seconds. Jays and Subatomic with a first-time chat that lets them know that they've been following for 2 years, 10 months, 29 days, 15 hours, 42 minutes and 42 seconds. What are you doing? How have you been following that long and it's your first time chatting, Subatomic? That's just not right, is it? Come on. That's not playing the game. You should be chatting every single time. What are you doing? It's a joke. You don't have to chat. But I'd like it when you do. Emmy has been following for 1 year, 10 months, 19 days, 4 hours, 7 minutes and 39 seconds. And Orim has been following for 1 year, 6 days, 15 hours, 17 minutes and 36 seconds. This is crazy. Well done, guys. Thank you very much for the following. For following. Hello, Irish Viking. How you doing, buddy? Saying evening/morning. Polar Chair says, do you just never stream or am I stupid? You're stupid, Polar Chair. I stream. I'm a 24/7 streamer. I'm constantly streaming all the time. No, I'm a bit erratic. If you join my Discord, you can get stream announcements so you don't miss them because Twitch isn't ever so good at sending them out, and I don't announce them anywhere else. But I generally stream this time every Monday, most of the Mondays when I can, and also Tuesday and Thursday evenings, but they're a little bit hit and miss because, well, life and stuff happens. One of the youngest followers says Red Lame Dog. Red Lame Dog has been following for 3 months, 9 days, 21 hours, 35 minutes and 13 seconds. But yet, Red Lame Dog, you're in the community. You've been there. You might have only been here 3 months, but you're one of the, you get involved. It's good. It's good stuff. Right. Okay, peeps. It's time. We got a couple of things to do today. The first thing we're going to do is dig up the road because I don't like the basalt. It's too noisy, so we're just going to replace it. Now we could replace it with this nice cyan terracotta, seeing so we've got a bunch of that now, but then that's not going to... Actually, I might get rid of that out of this building and just have that as the road, because I think it does look... I think it looks more roady than building-y. So yeah, let's dig up the roads. What a joyous day to be... Oh, hang on a minute, guys. I've got to put my beacon back. We're going to be digging up roads and whatnot. Now, in one of these boxes, from the adventures we went on last time, I should have a beacon kicking about somewhere. It's been a while. Good night, friends, says Polar. You off already? You've only just got here. All right, fair enough. Smell you later. It appears there is not a beacon in one of these boxes. Huh. In that case, where's my bit? Is it over here? Did I put it away over here? Ah. Well, there's a beacon. But where's all my iron blocks that went to the base of the beacon? Fingers crossed I didn't leave them in the nether. I don't think I would have done. Not the nether. Wherever we would... The mesa. That's the word. Morning, says Lazy Tiger. Good morning. Sleepy. It's late. I need sleep, says Polar Chair. Fair enough. Well, don't forget to watch the VOD. Right? Because otherwise, you're fired. Simple as that. You don't have to. You do what you want. It's your life. You don't have to watch a second. But if you don't, I'll be very disappointed. In just you. Everyone else gets a pass, but I'm just feeling like that today. Excuse me. Apparently, I can't talk anymore. Aha. Me irons. Found them, guys. Could probably do with a sleep. Oh, look. It's my best friend. Oh, he's dead. Oops, I killed my best friend again. Oopsie, my bad. Right, peeps. You've got an important mission. I have decided, due to various factors beyond my control, that doing I was nearly there. I nearly got it right. Doing shorts on YouTube is a good way to do things. So some of the shorts that I would like to put out are stream clips, and I don't know if you've been watching my YouTube channel over the last few days, but you'll notice that a couple of stream clip shorts went out, and some of them are quite entertaining. So I'd really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate it if you could just, you know, spam that clip button whenever something fun or interesting goes on. Maybe I'll give some Minecraft tips that you think are good. Maybe I'll do a rant about something that you think's funny. Maybe I'll just, you know, take my elytra off mid-flight, as I did that time, and fall out of the sky and die. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to hit that clip button. You can never have too many clips. If we get duplicates, that's absolutely fine. It's not a problem. Just do it, okay? Yes, I like seeing your Han Solo skin, said Red Lame Dog. Exactly. And you wouldn't have seen that if it didn't get clipped. Because I'm not going to just go through every single live stream VOD and, you know, try and remember to what happened and where it all was. So I need those clips. It's very, very easy for me to turn clips into quality YouTube content. So please do. Please do. Or, you know, alternatively, if you don't, you're fired. So simple as that. Okay, so if you want to keep your jobs, I will ring your boss. And you can't fire me. You don't employ me. Yeah, but I've got your boss's phone number. So, you know, if you don't do it, I'll be on the old blower to your boss saying, hey, this chap here in my live stream didn't clip me videos when they were funny and stuff. So you need to fire him. And they'll say, oh, who are you? I'll say, I'm Foxy No Tail. Oh, of course, Foxy No Tail. Yes, no problem at all. Hey Foxy, hope you're well. What happened to streaming on YouTube? Wondered where you'd gone, then started getting notifications for you on Twitch, says Sorting Broom. The thing is, right, streaming on YouTube is, for all intents and purposes, a load of rubbish. It's all right. It's fine. It's just, I don't know how to explain it really. It's just not as good. Not as good, and it wasn't doing. I thought when I first started it, oh, this will be really good for my channel. There'll be more viewers, more discovery, you know, more subscribers, things like that. It actually turned out, whilst I was earning more money from it in ad revenue, which is a positive, and I was on the whole getting more views to my channel, which is a positive, I was actually losing subscribers because people that don't want live streams were deciding, I'm going to unsubscribe from Foxy No Tail because all he does is hit that live button. So it just wasn't good for me in the long run. Whereas Twitch, brilliant, because I get all of those things and I get paid. And then I get to put a lovely VOD onto my second channel, which keeps my second channel alive as well. What's the rant today, says Redwood Crest. I don't know until we get into it. You know, it's normal. Rants are normally triggered by one of you guys saying something stupid. So, you know, as soon as you start coming up with utter gibberish and rubbish, then I can respond in the best way that I know how, which is to tell you all you're idiots. But if you're not going to be stupid, I got nothing to rant about. I pay you, says Irish Viking. You do indeed. So get paid. Give bits to Foxy, says Kano Med. Thank you very much, Kano, for the bits. Something stupid. I'm here, says Pontin. Excellent, Pontin. This is good news. I think of the 2 pill bugs from Bug's Life, you're fired. Exactly. Do you know what? That's exactly it. You fired. You fired. That's I think where it came from. I don't know why, but that's literally where it came from. Hey, folks. I read that one. Let's talk about taxes, says Redwood. No, I'm not talking about taxes. Not again. We can leave finance right out. That rhymes with spaghetti with gravy, yay or nay? Well, yay, because when I make a spaghetti bolognese, if I make my own rather than using one of the sauces out of the supermarket, I use gravy. Gravy in mince is the great base for the sauce, and then you add tomatoes and things like that in to make it more bolognese. But yeah, absolutely, 100% gravy. Now, I don't know if you're talking about American gravy or British gravy, because they're totally different things. But if you're talking about British gravy, then I'm all up for it. Gravy and everything. Gravy and rice. Gravy, mince and rice. Brilliant. But if you're talking about that, you know, fandangled American gravy, which is basically milk, then you can get out. Milk on spaghetti. Milk on spaghetti. What are you doing? Gravy. No, I meant... No, meat I meant. Gravy, no meat I meant. What? Just... Wait a minute. Hang on. So you're on about... What? So you're on about just putting spaghetti with sauce on it, like gravy, like meat sauce gravy. Is that what am I picking up what you're putting down? You're just having plain spaghetti with bisto on it. Am I right? Is that what you're getting at? Because that sounds a bit weird. I mean, I'd probably like it, to be fair, but it's very unusual. Right, where's all my cyan terracotta? Did I turn it all into this building? I did, didn't I? Oh, jeez, I need to get rid of this building then and tear it all down so I can put it in the floor. Or we'll just go make a bunch more of it, I guess. Hey, Ascat Data subscribed to tier 1. They've subscribed for 31 months. This is incredible. Red Lame Dog says, can I ask something that might start a long comment? Why do you not play Java instead of Bedrock? Do you be able to mod easier and make add-ons like you do? Well, I wouldn't be able to make add-ons for Java Edition. I can and have before made data packs, but they're nowhere near as powerful as add-ons for Bedrock. I wouldn't know where to start with modding, and I don't think I'd be interested in doing it, considering you're always modding for an old version. Mods are inherently not that great performance wise because they're literally hacking the game. I like making Bedrock add-ons because it's that's what's meant to be. It's designed for that, so I can do that easily. The reason I play Bedrock Edition instead of Java Edition started basically because I thought that did white dye. Which one's? Oh, it's Lily of the Valley, isn't it? Because I used to play Java all the time. That was how I started playing the game. Java. And then I was getting more and more people watching that didn't play on Java Edition, that played on Bedrock Edition, because Bedrock Edition was, available for phones and things like that. And I basically decided to give it. I broke. They basically forced me into trying it. So I started a Bedrock Edition world, and I liked it. It was different. It gave me that feeling of playing Minecraft for the first time all over again, which I hadn't had in years because I'd already at that point played Java Edition for so many years. So, which was amazing. I thought, wow, I don't want grey. Do I want cyan? What am I doing with my life? So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then it kind of stuck, really. And I just now I prefer the way Bedrock feels. If I go back to Java Edition, it's fine, but Bedrock's it just feels nicer. It's nicer to play for me. I like the controls better. I like how things work better. And I know there's loads of bugs with Bedrock Edition compared to Java Edition, but that makes it more interesting. And whilst I might moan a lot about the bugs and I might get frustrated by them, it's that passion for the game that makes me moan and makes me frustrated. And while I'm moaning about bugs, I'm still really enjoying the game. So there's your answer. Why do I play Bedrock Edition? Because I think, genuinely, not joking, I think it's better. I just like it more. Thank you for the 100 bits, Kato Med. In my bachelor days, I used to enjoy rice with chicken and bisto gravy. Yeah, you can't bit of gravy, rice and chicken. I agree, 100%. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to look up the difference of our gravy and yours, says Irish Viking. Your gravy, assuming you're American, right? Your gravy is milk, basically. It's like a pudding sauce. I think it's the equivalent of what we would call bread sauce in the UK. I might be wrong about that, but that's what I understand from pictures I've seen and discussions I've had. Whereas UK gravy, although vegetarian options of it do exist, it's always used to be like a meat-based sauce, and it is designed to go with meat. So you've got like beef gravy, chicken gravy, stuff like that, and it's just basically a thick sauce. It's quite salty, but it's like it's good for meat, good for not meat as well. Rice, gravy, sausages is pretty nice, says yeah, sausages, rice, gravy, beef, chicken. You can't beat it. Like, you can't have a Sunday dinner without gravy because you need some wetness on there. Gravy stream, says Winge. It's just how it is. Them's the rules. I don't make the rules, I just abide by them. And when it comes to gravy, There's no worse rule to break as far as I'm concerned. You have your Sunday dinner without gravy, like Jack does. And no, in fact, I don't think Jack does anymore. Jack used to. I think it's Oliver now. Can't remember. One of them. One of my kids doesn't have gravy. And you just think, you're going to have the driest mouth. This may sound like fantasy, but all Bedrock needs to be recoded from start to streamline the code and help with the bugs, in my view, says Punting Plays. No, you're totally wrong there. No. Bedrock... Yes, and... Oh, man. Okay, you're not totally wrong. You can't recode Minecraft from the ground up. You can't do it. Yes, you could start again, but by the time you got to the end, it'd still be a spaghetti mess because there's just way too much. There's too much nuance in the game. There's too many special things that rely on other things, and for a lot of the mechanics, they literally have to, introduce bugs to get things to work the way they should. In the way that we expect them to work. The whole reason people didn't like Bedrock Edition from the start is because it was coded from the ground up and it played differently to Java Edition. And the reason it played differently is because it didn't have that nuance, didn't have that strange things happen when I do this. Even though they'd coded those things to be similar, it didn't happen because that wasn't just a result of the spaghetti code of Java Edition. You could say any game, oh, you could recode any game and make that game better, but no, that game, if it's a big game like Bedrock, and you might not think it's a big game, but it is, there's so much going on behind the scenes in order to make all of these different mechanics and things work in the way that we expect them to. That you, by the end of it, you're just going to be in a total, and especially like anything, you got multiple people on working on something, they're all going to have a different twist to it, they're all going to develop in different ways. You're still going to end up with a big bunch of spaghetti by the end of it. Whereas if you had one person doing it, like at the beginning, like when Notch was doing it all on his own, then you're going to more likely get some like similar results by the end of what you've done. The problem then is, well, obviously it'd take way too long to do, but also wouldn't have all of the fun things that we expect to happen because of those bugs that crept in because other people were working on it at the same time. So, I mean, it would be great if they would just, every couple of years just go, right, let's rewrite the whole thing from the start. But then they'd be back at the beginning with all the bugs and crazy issues that happen. Be back at the beginning with us all going, there's no parity because you forgot this and you forgot that. I mean, how can one person or even a whole team be expected to remember every single minute detail of what happens inside of Minecraft? It's not possible. The reason we all know is because we're basically a hive of people playing it, so we know all of it. With our powers combined as a whole, we know all of these little things that should go on and shouldn't go on, but the developers don't, because they're just developing it every day. They ain't got a clue about all of this because no one person can have all of that information. You might think you know everything there is to know about like Minecraft, but you don't. Let's say you were the world's best coder, right? And you go, right, my mission is to completely recode Minecraft from the ground up. I guarantee you, even with all of your knowledge in the game, if you think you know everything, you put it out there and you get loads of people turn around going, yeah, but this doesn't work and that doesn't work. And you forgot to do this and you forgot to do that. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot about those things. Or, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. And you'll have your own, your little own twist on it as well, because you'd be thinking, well, actually, even though that's the way it's supposed to be played, I prefer it like this. When you come across like a road, you'll come to a road like crossroads with your development where you'll be like thinking, that doesn't actually work the way it's supposed to. On Java Edition it does this, and on Bedrock Edition it does that, so I'm going to make it like this, and you're going to make a decision, and that's not necessarily going to be the reflective of what the community agrees with. And that's all that the developers are doing every time that they're developing something. Every time they change something or fix the bugs, and we all go mental because it's not what we wanted. Some people out there, that's what they want. So there you go. Thank you very much, Anti-Dizzy, subscribing with Prime for 18 months, saying, hi, I used to get confused between stock and broth until someone explained the difference. I've no idea what broth is. I don't know. I've never had broth. Don't want it. I like gravy. Don't need broth. Can't please everyone, says Geo. Exactly. So they have to make decisions and do the best, and you would do exactly the same thing. With coding, sometimes concessions need to be made with, and pending which way you go, the game will be different. Exactly, right? And let's say you were really confident with how you were going to do it. And you're thinking, I got this. I know how to do this. And I know exactly how to make this game better. And you get, let's say, even just 50% of your way into that. And then you realize, because there's so much going on in Minecraft, way more than you actually thought there was when you started. Because that always happens when you start a project. It ends up a lot bigger than you expect it to. You go, well, now it's like really, really bad. The performance is awful. It's not what I expected because there's too many things going on. Even though I've spent hours and hours and days and weeks planning this thing, it's all over the place. It just doesn't run very well. So then you've got a choice. Do I start from the beginning again and hope to not get to that point, which you won't because it's too much time and you've already invested in it? Or do you start spaghettifying your code even more and tweaking bits you've done to make it more optimized, and then start adding in bugs because you're changing this and you forgot about that, and you changed this and you didn't realize that would be affected. And that's just how any sort of development works. So you're just going to end up exactly the same place, but 5 years behind where Bedrock Edition currently is. So there's no point at all in recoding it from scratch, because it will be in the same position but worse. Have you seen the new shaders? Deferred rendering lighting pipelines, says Cold Reindeer. Yes, people need to get this into their heads, right? This is really important. They are not shaders. They're not shaders, and they never will be shaders. It's not shaders for Bedrock Edition. It's not a new thing of the game. They're not shaders. It is RTX, but for all devices. It is watered down RTX at that as well, because it doesn't do as good of a job as RTX did, although it's not as broken as RTX, or it is actually in a lot of ways. But it's not shaders. It's not, oh, we can now have chunk lines and we can have light levels and we can make wavy grass and we can do this and we can do that. No, it's incredibly limited. All it does is it gives shadows in the world. It allows you to give emissive textures to blocks, so you can make light blocks look like the shining. You can even make entities look like the shining, but they don't actually give any light out into the environment. And you can adjust the angle of the sun and the moon to make shadows go across the world a bit more differently, and you can change the color of the sky. And I know that is literally it. There is no more to it. So it's not shaders by any stretch of the imagination. Don't suddenly be getting excited going, oh yay, finally we got shaders, because we haven't. It's still it's Mojang's. I mean, I'm happy about it because it's something, and a lot of people are going to be really happy that they can make Minecraft look a little bit different, right? That's good. It's a good thing, but it's not what we wanted when we said we wanted shaders. We want the ability to control what the game looks like, per block, per entity, per everything. We want to have total control over the visual sides of the game, which we did with shaders. We don't have that with this. We have barely any control at all. And yesterday I actually spent a bunch of time making a shader pack, an add-on that uses these features, and it's ridiculously limiting. Better than nothing, says Geo. Well, yes, it is. For people that didn't have an RTX card, it's better than nothing, I guess. But it's, to me personally, it's a complete waste of good development time because it adds nothing. It doesn't add anything to the game at all for most people, other than, oh, doesn't it look a little bit shinier now? There's no reason to use it, and they've touted it as deferred rendering for creators, as if it's like going to be suddenly really valuable for marketplace partners and people like me. Well, okay, marketplace partners could make a bunch of shader packs and put them out there, but they're not shaders. They're all going to look exactly the same, but with different textured blocks. So, like, there's no control over there's a bloom toggle. Bloom is like when you're looking at light, like the sun, and it's got like a glow around it. There's a toggle for that, but there's no settings on it. And that's one of the biggest things you need to have a setting for, because that's how you can really control how dynamic the light looks around the world. And there's no toggle. It's just on or off. Do you want bloom or don't you want bloom? And it just, yeah, they're not good. They're all right. I mean, like I say, I'm glad they exist. I'm glad they're there, because that means a lot of people playing on mobile and consoles have suddenly got a way to make Minecraft look a little bit more pretty. But everyone keeps saying shaders, we got shaders. It's not shaders. It's not shaders. It's nowhere near shaders. Ow. 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 I'm looking through my box, mate. Will you stop? Just for a minute while I look through my box. Thank you. Ow. My brother is a professional coder. He thinks they're using branch coding system, and sometimes in a rush, a devil hit use my code button in the wrong place, as Irish Viking. Well, we can all speculate on why mistakes happen. I'm sure there's probably some truth in that, but unless you know, we don't know. I just remembered something about your first Bedrock world. You said, and I quote, "The plastic pack is your favorite." Do you still stand by that, or was that Baby Foxy being silly? I really did genuinely like the look of the plastic texture pack. I really did. I thought it gave Minecraft a really cartoony, fun feel, but people hated it. People absolutely hated it in my videos, and like anything else, you know, I got bored of it too. So I haven't used it since. I tell you what I really like now, and I think there are some texture packs flying around that use it, but it's that the one that is used in the Minecraft trailers and the Minecraft videos that they put out on the Minecraft channel. I think that looks really good, but that's very much like the plastic texture pack, and I'd like to play with that. I need to find a source where I can get that from. But yeah, I did like the plastic texture pack, but you're going back probably six years or so with me saying that. You can't expect me to stand by things that I said 6 years ago. Time changes, a lot goes on. Is there any add-ons that don't work with the latest version of One Player Sleep? Because I'm having so many issues with it, says official AJ Zuma. The current version of One Player Sleep that requires you to be standing on the bed when you go to sleep because they broke it, because they're adding in One Player Sleep in the next... I mean, it's coming in... What date are we on now? Next week, I bet. Next week, I'm going to guess that the next Minecraft 1.20.20 will be out, and you'll have One Player Sleep built into the game. Made me dies. So what was I saying? So yeah, One Player Sleep, it shouldn't conflict with anything, the latest version, but you do have to be standing on the bed. But you've only got another week to wait. I didn't even want to make it, but everyone was moaning, oh, we haven't got One Player Sleep. Yeah, but you only had it for it's a month. Get over it. Play Minecraft the way it's supposed to be played for a month. No, I need One Player Sleep. I'm my VIP server. We can't handle it. There's more than one person online. We need to sleep. Just play in the dark for a month. It's fine. Then you'll really appreciate when actual One Player Sleep's in the game as like part of vanilla. No, we need it. My goodness, fine. I'll just do what we did on Truly Bedrock and just don't update. Right, there's one called Bare Bones. It's kind of like Minecraft Trail. Here's Irish Viking. You've lost me. I don't know what you're talking about now. Oh, you mean the resource packs? Send me a link if you've DM me a link if you think you've found the one. There's definitely one for Java, because I watched a video the other day on somebody that had not only done that but created a shader to make all the lighting and everything look exactly like it did in the trailers, and it looked amazing. They were literally playing the game as if it looked like one of the trailers. But you can't do that on Bedrock Edition because we don't have shaders. What are the new shaders? They're not shaders. Will new One Player Sleep require cheats, says X-Zone? I don't know. I haven't actually tested that. I don't know. Download the preview and find out. Did you record my voice for that feedback about OPS, says Red Lane? Well, did it sound like you did it? Cheney says there are some convoluted ways to get shaders on PC and Android. Not sure it works exactly, but people have worked it out. Possibly, yeah. You can. Some people. Mad Lad has created Better RTX, which hacks the game, and someone else has created Better Render Dragon, which hacks the game and allows shaders. But both of those require you to have a hacked version of the game in order to play them, so they're not a good solution. And you could argue, well, in order to have shaders on Java Edition, you need to hack the game to have Optifine. Yes, that's true, but that all comes... you just click it and it installs and it works. Whereas this one, there's a lot of faffing about to do, trying to find the original files to the game, changing this, running scripts that you don't know where they've come from that do that. It's just a mess. It's a minefield. So it's not a good solution for everybody. Whereas before... we used to just be able to literally install a resource pack on Bedrock Edition that had shaders in it. They took that away. This is where my frustration comes from, is the fact that the game was already geared up to do it, and they decided to take it away, and then when we've been asking for it back for years, then decide, actually, we'll give you it back, but in this really cut down version that we control, because we don't want you to be using it for things like utilities and changing the game beyond our scope. Why? Just it's our game. Let us do what we want with it. We want it to look like Java Edition. Let us. Enfan says Slackville has no one-player sleep. You get used to it after a while. Yeah. I thought Bare Bones is for Java, though, says Cold Reindeer. Oh, well. I'm so silly on iOS, oh, geez. I'm on silly iOS, so shader's probably not working for me either way, says Red Lame Dog. The deferred rendering engine will come to other devices, it says, but and I would guess, like iOS, the devices are going to be way more powerful than most of the Android devices that are being used to play Bedrock Edition on. So I think it will just be a case of making sure Apple's absolutely 100% happy with how it's going. Apple are, particularly picky about what they allow to go through. So I assume that it's, rather than a coding issue, I would assume that's more of a legal issue with Apple that they'll have to deal with. It's a bit like the old trying to cross-play between PlayStation and Xbox on Minecraft in the good old days. It just didn't happen, but now it does. Worst part is it's virtually the same system running shaders on their code, and it's just obfuscated now, says exactly. Yeah. So all it used to be is you could change the material files, and they were just text files effectively with well, they weren't, they were shader files, but they were able to be edited with the text editor, which was great. And they basically turned them into what are called bin files, which are compiled, and unless you know how to decompile them, in which you need to know exactly how they were compiled, the versions that we used to basically it's a nightmare. It can be reverse engineered, but only if you're ridiculously intelligent at coding and doing things like that. So yeah, it's still potentially possible, but they're just like, nope, we don't want you to be able to do that. Why? If the rendering engine supports it, why not just give us that back? Why be so precious about it? I'm currently getting into World Edit and Structure, so annoyed with not being able to export my files like PC and Android, says Red Lame Dog. Yeah, well, that's one of those things, isn't it? Don't know why I don't know why I'm even putting the roof up at this level, because I don't actually know how high to build this thing. I just sort of was randomly doing it, wasn't I? So I'm not going to put a roof on it. I'll just destroy those other pillars. If you were feeling very trolley, then once one player sleep is added, you could set it to a minus value on VIP so no one can sleep ever. I think you set it to 100, isn't it? I thought they said it. Oh, is it minus? I can't remember. I did read the changelog, but I thought it was if you set it to 100, then you could never sleep through the night. Or was it? Yeah, maybe you're right. Minus number. I can't remember. Yo, says Yuki Donnelly. I have a 6-story, 48-block high building. Does anyone have any ideas on what to put in it? It's a house, but not too many farms, but maybe a few, says X-Zone. Well, what do you need to put in it? You don't have to have anything in it if you don't want. But if that sounds like a good place to be able to put farms and things like that, or, just use it for storage, or just leave it empty. Doesn't matter, you don't need anything in it, do you? Crazy part on iOS, world export works, but structure export doesn't. You would think it would use the same file manager systems as China. It's probably just an oversight. I mean, at the end of the day, they have telemetry. They know what people are using and what they're not using, and they're probably looking at that and going, well, no one even uses structure files, so it's not as important for us to put up the list of what to fix. I was going to say Cactus Farm, says Geo. Yeah, Cactus Farm's a good idea. Yes, 100% no sleep, says Irish Viking. But then you would think 100% would be if 100% of the players were asleep, right? So it should if everybody was asleep. I can't remember. It said in the changelog. I'm sure it's not too difficult to figure out. Right, peeps. Now there's a bunch of you here. I'm going to say the same thing that I said at the beginning of this live stream, and that is that I am in requirement of you all to be hitting that clip button as often as you think I've done something worthy of clipping, whether it's something funny, a rant, something silly going on. Don't worry about other people having clipped the same thing. Don't worry about duplicating clips. Just keep going with that clip button, because I've started to basically start pushing YouTube Shorts a little bit now that they're not just all in your face in your videos feed, and as a result, I would like clips to be able to use those for. So if I do anything silly, do anything funny, if I have a rant about something, if you think it's entertaining and you think other people would benefit from seeing that, whether for a laugh or for information or whatever, then hit that clip button and get it shared. And then I can just post it to YouTube as a with a little bit of fiddling. Yeah, post it to YouTube as a short. And TikTok. Might be 101%, says Irish Viking. I'm sure it's a number. That's not very helpful, is it? Maybe like a room filled with the most usable structure in the game. Desert wells, says Exzone. Yeah, just build a whole building, a building full of desert wells. What could go wrong? What are you building? Is it a Pokeball? Is the Pokeball done? Yes, the Pokeball's done, Winge. I'll show you in a second. Oh, yeah, you wrote that a while ago. The player sleeping percentage game rule has been added. When set to a value between 1 and 100, the game rule setting determines how many players must fall asleep to fast forward to the next day. A value of 100 means the nighttime cannot be skipped. Well, that's wrong. If it's... What? There you go. Oh, I haven't got a roof on it, but other than that, it's fine. That can't be right. Because if it's based on percentage... Then if you've got 100% of the people asleep, i.e. if there's 5 players online and 5 are asleep, that's 100%. That means it's not going to skip the night. That's not right. It's not right at all. I mean, obviously that's what it says in the changelog, and I assume that's probably how it works. But that's... If that is the way that it works, that's quite concerning. Don't everybody... Now it's going to be in the world. Don't everybody sleep. Someone get out of bed. I can't handle this Foxy Hotel. Can you make a new pact? Every time I go to sleep, everyone goes to sleep and no one can pass the night. So 100% means sleeping is illegal. Yeah, effectively. No, you just put it on 99%, wouldn't you, if you wanted everybody to be in bed? That's fine. I'm only kidding. It's a joke. Didn't it say over 100? Did I read it wrong? A value of 100, it says. I'm assuming Memia has copy-pasted that from the changelog rather than just made it up. The value of above 100. It doesn't say that. It says a value of 100 on what Memia put. But you're right, Roth. That would make more sense. Memia, did you copy-paste that, or have you paraphrased? Can somebody tell me the truth? I'll keep checking, but that's the notes I found. Don't make me pull up the changelog midstream, because you know I'll do it. I built my house with no idea what to put in it. I feel bad if I don't fit it up, says Exxon. Oh, don't worry about it. I do that all the time. I never have any idea for what to do for interiors in this game. I'm rubbish at interiors, so I don't mind building like the outside, because that's the thing that people's looking at. You know, if you don't build the interior, that's absolutely fine. Maybe you just like building buildings. You know, you want the area that you're living in or that you're working in to look like it's got stuff in it. Don't feel that pressure to fill up every single thing with something in it, because it's your world, it's your area. Do what you want to do. Don't ever be pressured because you think that's, you know, the right thing to do, or other people do it that way. Just do what you want to do. Half of these things that I'm building here aren't going to have anything in them. Wait, what's the next update? Is 1.20.31, says AJ Zuma. Well, we're getting 1.20, I'm going to guess next week. And then, or this week. No, it won't be this week. It'll be next week, I bet. Maybe it'll be this week. Could be this week. I'm assuming it's going to be next week. As in, this week it will be tomorrow, wouldn't it, that it comes out, if it comes out this week. But I'm going to assume next week. So we're getting that next. And then it'll be 1.20.30, which will be, well, they're pretty much monthly, aren't they? Sometimes they're 5 weeks, sometimes they're 4 weeks. But it'll be, I would imagine, where are we now? It'll be mid-August. I imagine it'll be towards the end of September. We get 1.20.30. The next notes were added. The player sleeping percentage game rule. 0 negative value will only require one player to sleep to skip the night. When set to over 100, night cannot be skipped. Well, thank you very much, Ememia, for correcting yourself there. Good. I like that idea. Oh, speaking of ideas, peeps, I came up with a new game mode idea yesterday. I actually made it. And I don't know if anyone would be interested in it or interested in seeing videos on it. Probably not from me because it's not my sort of content. But you know how all of these 100 days videos kick about, and that's quite a popular play style. Well, I made a pack that basically extends a day, the day in Minecraft. So from the sun rising to the sun fully setting, lasts for 24 hours of real life time. And when the sun goes down, and that's what I called it, till the sun goes down. When the sun goes down, fully down, that's it. This is the end. You go into spectator mode and you're finished. So 100 days, if you work that out in terms of how many hours you've got to actually play the game, works out at 33 hours. But this would be 24. But obviously there's some interesting mechanics in play if you've only got 20, you know, daytime. There's no nighttime. Mobs you'll have to find underground or, you know, create dark areas. The villagers are not going to restock like particularly regularly. There's all sorts of interesting stuff going on that would be an interesting game to play, I think. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know and I'll put it on my website because I finished it. I just haven't done anything with it. Maybe I'll rent some rooms out to server members for extra storage or something, says XO. Well, that's a good idea. What a nice idea. How are we going to make this one then? I kind of like that design over there. That would actually be a fun challenge, said Irish Viking. Is the whole 24 hours in the day, or is it 12 hours day, 12 hours night? Well, I was originally, when I did it, it was 12 hours day, 12 hours night to match real life. But then I thought if people are wanting, if that was the sort of thing that became popular for people to make videos on, then half of your videos are just going to be permanently dark. And I didn't think that would be much fun. So it's 24 hours of day. I thought, yeah, I just thought that was a better way of doing it than, well, than the alternative, really. I mean, I could make it just 12 hours so it matched up with real life, but then, like, that's not very long time in a world, is it? Survive 24 hours in real life on Minecraft, says Cold Reindeer. Yeah, but it's just fully day all the time. Well, it's not fully day because you get, like, a chunk of it will be at sunset, a chunk of it will be at sunrise, but... Where am I? Oh, there we go. I'd play the 24-hour one, says Cold Reindeer. Does sound an interesting challenge, says Ememia. Oop. It's concrete time. I think that's a better idea, says Red Lame Dom. What's that? Having it day and night or having it just day? Because if it was day and night, you'd have 12 hours of playing the game where it was just constantly dark. So you'd have to be constantly worried about mobs and stuff, which would make an interesting challenge. It would definitely make an interesting challenge because, you know, halfway through the game, it's going to start getting harder and harder and harder, which could be really fun. But I just think from a... People like bright games. People like light. People like to be able to see what they're doing. Unless they're like specifically playing a horror game. Bear in mind, horror games are short games generally. Games that are of a dark surrounding or lots of fog or atmosphere are generally shorter games because people just don't like playing in the dark. So I think that would be detrimental to it. Oh, as a content creator, I might do that, says Red Lame Dog. It'll be a very interesting stream, or to stream for 24 hours through the day until the night, says X-Zone. Yeah, I mean, you do get streamers that are crazy enough to do like 24-hour streams. Put it in your homepage so that Mojang can add it to the vanilla game with the next update, says False Seductress. Are you saying Mojang keeps stealing the ideas off my website? Jeez. Playing in one sitting would add to the challenge, says Red. I don't think I could play Minecraft for 24 hours. Jeez. Yeah, that could be fun though, because by the end you'd be tired, wouldn't you? But you'd be fed up. Would it be possible to do a different split, like 18 hours day, 6 hours night? Well, yes, it would, Memia, but I'm trying to, you know, it's one of the, like, keep it simple. Like, half a heart hardcore, it's simple. It's really simple. All it is you've got a half a heart. There's no, oh yeah, but what about this and what about that? The simpler something is, the more likely it is to catch on. If you can create something that's fun and interesting, but it's very simple, then you're going to have something that's potentially being picked up by people. As soon as you start adding in complexities, it's not... You know, it loses that fun factor and it becomes complex, which is why I'm torn between the 12 hours day, 12 hours night, or just 24 hours a day, because I think the 12 hours day, 12 hours night is a better concept to get your head round, because you could say, well, till the sun comes up and call it IRL Minecraft time or something like that. And I think that would be better, but I'm just thinking from a gameplay point of view, playing 12 hours within the dark wouldn't be much fun for many people. Alone in the Dark was only 4.5 hours, says Roth. Exactly. Resident Evils tend to be a bit longer, but they're still not like 50, 60 hour games, are they? You wouldn't play Minecraft for a week playing it non-stop 24 hours, lol, says Sorting Boom. What's the new game rule for one player sleep, says official AJ Suma. I don't know off the top of my head. It's not in the game yet. It'll be next week, I think. Maybe this week, maybe tomorrow. Can't remember. Better than the wish list ideas getting into the game. Your ideas on the website are guaranteed to get into the game, says Exo. Don't know. From Dusk Till Dawn Minecraft Edition. Yeah. I don't think I could call it that. I don't think I'd get away with it, but that is a cool name for it. From Dusk Till Dawn. I guess it's actually if it is the 24 hours of daylight one, like I've done at the moment, it's from dawn till dusk, isn't it? Which would be a better, like probably a less copyrighty issue play on that. Can you have mobs spawn but not burn in the day, says Irish Viking? Could do, but I'm not going to fiddle with it like that. I think the whole point of it is to make it a different type of vanilla, but without affecting vanilla mechanics. The only difference is the time. Again, you could make it really, really complicated and do loads of stuff, but then it's not going to be much fun, because it's just be like, oh, someone's created a mod. No, I don't want to make a mod. I want to make a fun thing for people to just go, oh, that's a cool idea. Let me give it a go. Let me give that challenge a go. I think letting the person choose might be good. They could download whichever they prefer. No, you add multiple choice into something, it becomes a headache. No, it's got to be one or the other. Start adding in choices, then people don't know which one to pick. Then you've got the whole problem of people that do play it going, oh, well, which one did you go for? And, or, you know, like there being confusion. As soon as there's any sort of confusion, it's no good. It's dead in the water. It's one way or not way. So you hunt for mobs adds to the challenge, says Irish Viking. Exactly. No, there's nothing to say, right? Let's say I released that and it was successful and a bunch of people played it. Then you could do a follow-up to that, which is 12 hours day, 12 hours night, and see how people got on with it. And that might be more popular, it might be less popular, I don't know. But releasing them both at the same time as the same premise, but with just different things, is just confusing. We, the players, can't be trusted with options. We need uniformity, says Rebel Crafts. We, the human race, can't be trusted with options. We can't. As soon as you give people options, you get confusion, and then that's what like businesses and places use as a good way of confusing you into thinking things are more expensive or cheaper than they are in order to steer your decision-making process. If you see the same thing but with a bunch of options, the reason those options exist is to rip you off. Linus Tech Tips pulled this up the other day with like Apple devices with their starting app prices and then a bunch of options. The reason those options exist is so they can make you think it's cheaper than it is and end up making you spend more. Bugs No Tell, my crush told me that I'm pretty. This is from Mr. Balrog. Actually, the full sentence was, you're pretty annoying, but I'm focused only on the positives. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that one, Mr. Balrog. I assume that's your pun of the day, but I still find it incredibly relatable. Right, I think I need to come out another block here. I think I've done this all wrong. I have. If they're the external part of this building, they need to be out on the next block. I've made a boo-boo, peeps. Oh, geez. So they actually need to be there and there. There's me building this building 78,000 times. You enjoy it, though, don't you? Sure. Boaty McBoatface. We shouldn't have options. Exactly. I've had enough time figuring out what to wear or eat every day, says Redwood Crafts. Quite. Me and my server members are excited about this new update, says official AJ Sumo. What's exciting you? What are you excited about? Undo my boo-boo time. Yeah, what's it called again? Have you ever... Is it Have You something or other? I can never remember the name of it. Does it help you let it go? Yeah. Everything about it. It's not very specific. I mean, it's... Are we talking the one-player sleep stuff? Are we talking crawling and sneaking? What are we talking? I got excited. You remember the title then, says Red Lame Dog. I kind of did. I knew it started with H. It's called Help You Let It Go. Ow. All of it. Well, good. I'm glad you're excited. Get rid of these ones. Jeez. How much concrete do I lose every time I smash these down? How much of it ends up in my honey machine? How much of it ends up all over the place and I haven't seen it and it's just despawning? What a waste. How much is going inside that hopper minecart? How much of it's going on the roof? Hey, you hopper minecart, stop stealing my concrete. Yeah, I knew it. Oh, the bees are making honey in the wrong places. Magnet boots would catch it all, says Redwood Crafts. Yep. But those nasty, nasty other truly Bedrock members won't let me have anything fun. How much does Balrog's Crush think he's pretty? There's Red Lane Crush. What? How much is a piece of string? You mean how long is a piece of string? You could add a command to help you remember the title, says Amemia. I should have it so that I can run a command and it just changes the song to that, right? What auto sorter, if any, would you recommend and who made it, says Exone? No idea. I don't follow other people for their tutorials. The only sorter I know of existence from another player is the, what's it called? Is it the Etho source? I don't know. Don't even know if that was from them. I tend to just go with stuff I've seen somewhere else on the server or try and figure my own out. Like I did with my Guardian farm that one time, which was crazy. With the items just bouncing backwards and forwards on slime blocks until they eventually went down the hoppers. Above comments are because of you saying how much blocks are going. Oh, right, I see. Who is the server admin of Truly Bedrock? Me. It's me. I read that one. Yeah, I can honestly say that for the last at least 6 months, I haven't watched a single other Minecraft like Let's Play or tutorial video. I've seen videos about bugs, I've seen videos about memes and silly things going on, I've seen videos about updates and stuff like that, but I haven't watched a single Let's Play video or tutorial by anyone else, with probably for longer than that, to be honest with you. So I don't know is the answer. How do you know how to build stuff, says Red Lame Dog. I'll just make it up, as always. Have you ever played Skyblock? Yes, I have, Redwood Crash, many ago. I wanted, in fact, this season, I wanted to, again, poo-pooed by the other members. I wanted to start this season on Skyblock. I didn't think it would do any harm. I wanted to basically use World Edit to, like, 100,000 blocks out or so, just make a massive area of void with no chunks in it. And then just set up a Skyblock thing so that I could start this season on Skyblock, with my challenge being to try and make it over to the rest of the server. But they wouldn't let me. They said they thought fiddling with the world on that sort of scale was not a good thing to do. So then I said, okay, I'll just do it above the spawn islands then. But then that was poo-pooed because, well, it wasn't actually. They said I could as long as it wasn't like shadowing everything underneath. And I just thought, forget it, can't be bothered. If I fall off, I'm just going to end up down there rather than... It's too cheaty doing it above land rather than above the void. Which building's this one for, says Cold Reindeer. Well, there's a honey farm in it. I don't know what else I'm going to put in there. No idea at the moment. Probably... I don't know what other farms exist. Maybe a sniffer farm. I've got one sniffer egg. Can't really make a farm from that, but maybe something like that. I don't know. The chat is covered in sign. It's not as bad as it used to be. Maybe not Skyblocks for the next season, but perhaps floating islands, says Griffin. Maybe. Would you like another sniffer egg, says Geo? Well, it'd be very useful to have one, Geo, if you've got one kicking about. I'm a content creator too, and my server's called Bettercraft, which I make... Oh dear, rotated out face. Oh, jeez. Yeah, there's unfortunately, there's pretty strict rules we have around my channel for self-promotion, which, whether that was intended as that or not, yeah, it's going to get flagged. It's going to get gone. Because people abuse it. People abuse it. They have done many times before. In fact, without calling out anybody's names, I have had it to the point where, like, even patrons of mine have bunched together in the background and then started their own server and basically poached my patrons to start their own thing, because I used to allow them to basically post their videos and stuff in the chat. And yeah, not in the chat, in my Discord, and lost a lot of my income from that. So we just don't allow it. It's safer for me. I might, says Geo. Well, if you happen to be feeling incredibly kind, Geo, at any point, just remember that I'm lovely on the inside. Might not be on the outside, but definitely on the inside, and worth it. Was that how Hermitcraft began, says Red Lame Dog? What's that? Watch the bee. Oh, well, they were my patrons. Watch the bees, Foxy, as he accidentally hits a bee. I know, right? It's gonna happen. Yeah, it was X. He decided he was better off starting something else on Java Edition. Poached all my patrons. BOO, Mumbo and all that. And sauntered off. Started Hermitcraft. 100% definitely how it all started. It's my fault. Wasn't giving them enough. Which you can understand to a certain point. You know, if you're playing on a server, like a patron server with people, you're going to make friends. You're going to end up enjoying being a group, and then at some point you're going to get fed up with how the other things are going and think, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if we had our own? Which is fine. Absolutely. Go ahead and do that. But then don't go around secretly messaging all of the people that were, you know, that are sort of paying to be on my servers going, hey, why don't you leave Foxes and come join ours? Because that's not fair. That's not. I wouldn't do it to you. Don't do it to me. If I were to start streaming, how would you recommend me trying to grow my channel, says Dan Devil? Get good? I don't know. There's no... Geez, I wouldn't know where to start. I was very fortunate that I already had a following on YouTube. So, you know, I didn't really have to start from the beginning when it came to Twitch. I wouldn't know where to start on trying to grow a Twitch channel because there's not really any easy way to get noticed. There's so many. There's like literally millions of streamers that are trying to get off the ground. And unless you've got something special going on, then you don't stand a chance. And that sounds awful, but you must have either an incredibly engaging personality. You can have all the bells and whistles in the world on your streams. You can make your streams spin round and have flashing lights and all of this, that, and the other. But unless you've got a really engaging personality, you're never going to start. You're never going to take off. Because it doesn't, like, you've seen it the other way around. People that have really bad microphones, really bad, like, gameplay, and they become, like, some of the top tier streamers because they've just got really engaging personalities. They just click with people. And I think it's the same with YouTube to a certain extent. If you don't have that, you're not going to get anywhere. And it's a horrible thing for me to say. I don't think I've got a particularly engaging personality, which is why it's probably taken me 10 years to get to a point where some people get in a few weeks, you know, but then other people don't get there for years and years and years and years. It's just one of those things. If you click with people, if you're relatable and people enjoy watching your content, and it's not just full of you doing like the other thing is, there are things to avoid, like making sure you're not just sat there heavy breathing and doing things that irritate people. That's a big off-put. If you're trying to watch content and you've got somebody that's just making it hard to watch because you're cringing all the time, then you're obviously not going to do as well. Plus now, though, it's so saturated, says Red Lame Dog. Yeah. You know, if you're trying to get into the Minecraft space, well, it's not a good place to start. Whereas if you were trying to potentially get into a space of a brand new game, let's say when Starfield comes out, you know, you get ahead of the game on Starfield and start doing some really interesting stuff on that, and you've got an engaging personality, then I think you stand a much better chance of trying to get somewhere than Minecraft. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, by the looks of things, Starfield's going to be one of those games that could be played for a very long time. So it'd be a good bet to get in, a good bet to start a channel from. I know, official AJ Suma, how Hermitcraft really started. It was a joke. Being a good human doesn't cost nothing, says C. Durbin. Are you interested in Ark 2, says Redwood Crafts? Well, I really enjoyed the first Ark. Me and my son Jack put a lot of hours into that. In fact, I think we've got nearly 1,000 hours in that. What I don't like multiplayer games. The only reason I enjoyed that is because we set up our own servers and did it. And I even, not that long ago, I think maybe it was last summer, I think I said I was going to set up an Ark server for my patrons and things. And then but I'd completely forgotten that the server's just constantly running, and your dinosaurs, unless you log in every single day and watching your stuff, even if there's no griefers on the server, your dinosaurs are all just going to die because they starve. So I decided not to, because I don't have time to play it every single day. So I will probably play it and just see how I get on as a single player and see if it's like fun doing that. But I don't know whether I'll put much time into it. I'm ready for some Starfield, to see Durbin. I'm absolutely ready for some Starfield. I haven't been this excited about a game launch since, like, well, obviously I was for Zelda, but those two things come in at a relatively similar time were coincidence, I guess. But yeah, really excited about Starfield. Will you be streaming Starfield, says Anti-Dizzy? I am intending to record it like I did with Zelda on Duckshot. I don't know whether or not I'll be streaming it or not, because it's just finding the time. I would like to. I'd really like to stream it, because I think it would be a perfect game for streaming. It's just time management is my issue. If they get it right, if they get Starfield right, and they don't make a big mess of it, then... And it's not another, you know, No Man's Sky, lots of promises, but not actually any substance to it. then I think it could be incredible. I think it could be a real game changer in terms of shifting the market of what people are playing. But you have to remember that Bethesda don't have the best track record in the world when it comes to game launches, and they've also made a lot of promises in the past that they haven't kept to. So, but they have also made some incredible games. So I don't know. The other issue now is obviously they are controlled and owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft have a terrible track record of releasing good games. Look at Minecraft Legends, massively overhyped, total disappointment. Thank you for the posture check there, Mimir. No, it was Prian. That must be how dinosaurs came extinct, IRL. No humans logged in to feed them for 65 million years, says Roth. I think so. Hi, bro, says Brian. Hello. I didn't realise my brother was here. Hello, everybody. We'll say welcome to my brother. It's a brother I didn't know I had, but hello. Have to check out this Starfield. Not heard of it yet, but then again, I'm not checking out new games, says Red Lame Dog. I'm so excited for it. I really hope it's going to be as good as it looks. Displease a Piglin. Oh, jeez. Here we go. You know what? I'm going to be a little bit more sensible this time. Fucks his bro. Why not with the Pigos, says Griffin. I assume you're referring to displeasing the Piglin. Oh, I haven't got a shield. And my toolbox died. I keep forgetting my toolbox died. What? Oh, no, I made a new one, didn't I? It's like, what? My toolbox is back. No, it's RIP toolbox. Okay, we'll just go displease one the old-fashioned way. Don't need a shield. Shields are for babies. Oh. What? What? It is normally full of pigmen. What? How did your toolbox die? Creeper got it. Either that or when I broke it and it... Oh, apparently I'm still carrying this one with me. Apparently when I broke it, it despawned. I'm not 100% sure which is the right thing that happened. I've got a problem now. Where am I going to find pigmen? Jeez. Oh, hello. I was reading the chat. Wow, thank you very much. I'm probably about to lose it if I'm going to go and displease a Piglin, but I'll try and hold on to it. I really like your trim. I really like your trim. Isn't that fancy? That gold helmet with the diamond looks wonderful. What lovely trim you've got there, Gio. You want paint, do you? Do you want some scaffolding and some torches? It's all I got, bro. Oh, thank you. Got more. Oh, geez. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. You don't want my scaffolding. Fine. Just take my torches then. Whatever. Thank you so much. Right, let's go displease a Piglin and lose all the nice stuff that Gio's just given me. Gio's probably confused with the scaffolding and torches. There's Griffin. I think she can hear me. Pretty sure I'm on the second monitor. That's not a down. That's a down. Okay, Piglins. Aha. Hey, Piglin. Your sword isn't as long as it could be. I've seen people with longer ones. Not that size matters, of course. Oh, he died. What a shame. There you go. Fully displeased. You should have a reward for a certain amount of bits or channel points people can send in a copy, and there's a realm server you can tell them how incredibly wrong they are in playing a game where you can play however they want. What? I'm so confused. Have a reward for a certain amount of bits or channel points people can send in it. There's no... Put some punctuation in there so I know when the sentences start and stop. There's no... It's just all what? You still buy trader heads, by the way? Buy. I haven't got any money, Geo. I'm very poor. I will take, but I can't afford to buy any. Rate at their realm. Send in a copy of their realms, and you can tell them how incredibly wrong they've been playing the game. Oh, yeah, no way. No, I ain't got time in my life to go looking around other people's worlds like that. If you want me to look at your world, I do have a thing on my website where you can, you know, me and you can hang out in chat for half an hour and have a look around at the things you built, but it does cost money. It's not free. Yeah, absolutely haven't got time in my life to go around looking at loads of people's different worlds. I mean, that could make for fun videos, but like that's React content, and the only way React content works is when you're being horrible about somebody, and that's just not really much fun, is it? I don't know where my other sniffer egg, but that one's going in there. Is Foxy on Cameo? No, Foxy's not on Cameo. Don't know what. Oh, Cameo's that thing where you can do voice clips and stuff, isn't it, for people that pay? No, I'm not. Had enough to get Foxy time, let alone Foxy rates the world, says Curtsy Durbin. Yeah, exactly. Right, how are we going to do this one? I really like the shapes of that one with the lines coming out. It makes it really like distinctive. It also shapes the layers nicely. So I think I might just do another one like that and be lazy. I've kind of got things semi in place for that, but then this is wrong if I'm doing that. But I'm not changing those again because I've already changed them once. So we'll have to just have a play on that one, I guess. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 between the floors. I go up 7 from here. In fact, let's be sensible here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the next bit would be here. And then that would kind of... Oh, geez. Good at this game, guys. Don't worry about it. Let's make it slightly different from that one, but a similar sort of theme. So we would have that block in the middle there. Maybe we'll go up 2 this time. And then across. Backlighting honey, says Sandeval. We tried that on there. I think it looks awful. I really do think shining lights through honey just looks gross because the honey just it renders really weirdly. I know I'm not going to do that. But it's a honey. Yeah, I know it's a honey farm, but it looked gross, mate. Okay. Right, I need to adjust that slightly. I do want one at the bottom. I also want one. Oh, jeez. Let me in. There. Here we go. Need to make an add-on where honey looks nice then. I don't know. Well, yeah, you could do that with a resource pack, I guess, but I don't want to... I like having vanilla textures. The only textures I changed was my netherite stuff because I thought that looked awful. But that doesn't have an effect on anyone else. You know, that's for my preference. I don't want to change vanilla blocks in the world because all of a sudden you've got a completely different looking set of builds to what everyone else sees. Meh. Stained glass look is a popping look, says C. Durbin. You leave Mary Poppins out of this. That right? Have I done that right? Yeah, I think so. I don't know whether it should be 2 in the middle or 3. Although I think 3 would be too much. Do you have any good advice for small YouTuber Twitchers, says AJ Doomer? No. Right, yes I do, but you're not going to like it. I don't know what... I've never seen your channel. I've never watched your videos. I don't know what you do. But I'm going to assume that you do exactly the same thing everybody else does and suddenly expects a following because they've all got one. Because that's, generally speaking, what you see. Do something different. Do something entertaining. Be different. Be entertaining. And be, you know, this is an impossible ask if you're not already, but be something people can relate to and that they connect with. If you can't do that, then you're not going to have a successful YouTube or stream. If you're just doing the same stuff everyone else is, whether that's just messing about in Minecraft single player worlds or doing a SMP or something like that, the only advice I can give you is an impossible piece of advice, which is be better than everybody else. Be more relatable, be somebody that's just incredibly charismatic that people want to watch. Because otherwise, it doesn't matter how good your content is and how many flashing lights you've got and how brilliant your editing is, no one's going to watch it. This is already way too much. Translation: someone on Hermitcraft did stained glass, now everyone's doing it. It's rough. Yeah, don't be a copycat, because it's not going to get you anywhere. The only way you can get away with being a copycat is if you're copying, like, you can, and this isn't a right thing to do. I'm not endorsing this at all, but a lot of people have got somewhere by stealing other people's tutorials and stealing other people's ideas and re-uploading their content, but then maybe like trying to make it a slightly more interesting edit. I would never advocate for that. I think if you do that, you're just a horrible bad person. So I'm not saying do that, but that is a way to cheese the system, I guess. But if you're actually wanting to do it properly and, you know, not just annoy everybody else and have all of your content copyright striked, then it's just make content people want to watch. Make engaging thumbnails. Make sure your titles and your descriptions are good. You know, it's an impossible task. You could go for a 3 tall section, which gives you space for a recessed look, perhaps with frog lights, says Griffin. Yeah, I thought maybe 3, but then I think the gaps between the rooms, the bits would be too tall, maybe. I might be wrong. Just my gut feeling. Let me just make sure I've measured that right before I do another one. Could be 7 in between here. 1, 2, 3, no. 3, no. Why? Why? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Sure, it's 1 block out, says Red Lame Dogs. Probably is. I'd rather just watch excellent streamers and content makers like yourself, says Sorting Brew. I don't think I do anything particularly right. I try really hard with my thumbnails. I try really hard with my titles and descriptions. I obviously try as much as possible to be engaging during streams. I try to read the chat. I try to make sure that I'm doing at least something not horrendously boring, like just mining sand for 12 hours or something like that. I try and make sure that I'm doing something. But I don't think I'm particularly good at it. Foxy Notel, did you receive an email from YouTube about AI? Because I know several now that have. I don't know. Maybe. What do you mean? It would give me a bit more context. I get loads of emails. AI in what context? And I mean, even if I have, I'm probably not going to discuss the content of my emails with people. On the note about copycat designs and builds, I've seen some great content creators whose builds have been stolen from other channels and passed off as their own. Just wrong altogether, says Griffin. Yeah, I know loads of people that do it still. It's one of those things that exists that just shouldn't exist, but people can't help it. They'd rather just steal someone else's stuff than do the work themselves. I just think that those are the sorts of people that's just never going to get anywhere in life. But I'm probably wrong. They're the sorts of people that's probably going to get everywhere, and the people that are doing it right are going to be the ones behind. What do they say? Nice guys finish last, and I think it's true. I love a Foxy rant in stream too, lol. Has anyone clipped it then? Come on, I've been asking you to be clipping stuff. What's been clipped? Better been clipping, otherwise you're all fired. I'd watch you farm 7 for 12 hours as Red request. I know some people would, but I'm, you know, if you, my point being, if I want to grow and engage, you know, grow my channel and get more viewers, then that ain't going to happen if I'm not prepared to put the effort in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Lovely. Visual AJ Student says, I got an email about replacing myself with AI text-to-speech bot trained on my recordings to perfectly imitate me so that I could streamline the production process and create... Yeah, that's not from YouTube. You've got spam. That's from a company trying to sell you a product. Check the email address. It's not from YouTube. It's from a YouTuber named Mumbo. Yeah, well, it's not Mumbo Jumbo. It's somebody somebody trying to sell you something and spam you. When Foxy comes along, you must clip it. Clip it, clip it good. This is what I'm hearing, says C. Durbin. Clip it real good. Click something, but I had to DM you on Discord because Twitch didn't let me DM you here, says Red Lame Dog. You know, Discord is the place to do it. Discord is definitely the place to DM me. But don't abuse that because I will block you. If I've invited your DMs, feel free to DM me. If I have not, then unless you've got something very important, very interesting to tell me, expect to either be ignored or blocked. Just been clipping every 30 seconds, says Red Lame Dog. Oh, brilliant. How many subscribers you had on this stream, Foxy? You've had a few, which shows you're doing something right. It's the Sorting Broom. I don't know how many I've had on this stream. A couple of Prime subs, I think. Speaking of, if you have Amazon Prime, then you can link your account to Twitch Prime Gaming, which means you can give me or anyone, your favorite Twitch streamer, a free subscription, which means it costs you nothing, but it actually helps, you know, pay my wages, which is fantastic. Or pay my bills, I guess. I don't get any wages. So yeah, if you've got Twitch Prime, then you've got Twitch Prime Gaming. So link those accounts and don't waste it. Otherwise, you're basically going, I might as well just throw all of Foxy No-Tail's hard-earned earnings down the drain because I can't be bothered. That's not a good attitude. Get it done. Once in a while Foxy will respond to people in his general character, don't be rude to others here or block you personally. I absolutely will, yeah. How do I do that, Foxy? I find Prime's the Sorting Broom. I think, have we got like a... Oh, there you go. Someone's already done it. Roth's on it. I think I did that to someone else ages ago, but I can't do it now for some reason. I thought it could be renewed every month. Yes, it can. You can. You have to. It's not an auto renewal thing. If you want to keep giving that streamer your Prime subscription, or if you want to give it to someone else, you have to renew it every month. You should, I believe, get an alert from Twitch to tell you it's run out. I think. But having not done it myself, I don't actually know. If you're not doing it yourself, why would you expect us to do it? Well, the thing is, right? No, I have used it before. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Have I got that right? Maybe. We'll find out in a minute. Ah! Go to the menu with your profile pic and choose subscriptions and let you know you're subbed and when it's due to run out. Oh, okay. Nice. They thought of everything, these guys, haven't they? So, peeps, what have you got to tell me? What's new? What's happening? What interesting things have we got to talk about? Is there any rant material out there that you can throw my way and get me on a, you know, an interesting topic that I can have a good old moan about? When you clip something, do you have to do anything else, or will you find it regardless? No, it'll just come up in my clips list, and then I can just decide which ones I want to use and not. Earlier this stream, I made a joke about filling a house with a desert wells, and now I'm making a giant desert well to fill with more desert wells. Oh, brilliant. Good for you. Paint drying, says Red Lame Dog. Not the most interesting of conversations, but I'm prepared to give it a go. What would you like to talk about with paint drying? Takes a while, doesn't it? Depends on the paint, though, I suppose. We already discussed the villager nerf. No, we haven't. See, I mean, this is a really tricky one for me, because I've been known to say many, many times that I think villagers are way too OP, and I agree with that. I think the fact that you can have a trading hall from day one and get whatever books you want is ridiculous, and I'm glad that they've changed something. But I think they've massively, massively missed the point. I think they've made it, they've gone from it being a reason, you know, an OP thing to be able to do, to being totally now unreasonable. So my reasoning for that is, unless they do something with the cost of anvils or the cost of combining books, then we're going to be at a point where, like my boots, I couldn't have these boots. There's no way I could have these boots, because I would have to combine too many things together to get them, and that would make it too expensive. It also means they would no longer be repairable or upgradable, and that means that I'm all of a sudden not just struggling to find the books that I want, but also not able to play the game the way I usually do. So it's not just a villager nerf, it's a massive nerf. The other thing it means is you're going back to the enchantment table. You're going back to using anvils to combine everything constantly, which means you're going to be needing a lot more iron, which is fine because we've got iron farms. Okay, fine, invest some time into an iron farm. But it's not just that. You've also got the problem of needing tons and tons and tons of XP. Needing an absolutely ton of XP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because if you're rolling trades on an enchantment table, there's so many enchantments now that you're never going to get the one you want, like within a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, there's too many caveats. There's too many new issues without, geez, I've done that wrong, without fixing the old ones first. So basically, I think they made a big mistake in the way that they're doing it. They are asking for feedback. Hopefully they'll just totally get rid of this whole too expensive thing on an anvil, because it doesn't make any sense at all. But I don't mind the villagers being in different locations. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. I think that's quite an interesting idea, having to go to different biomes to get different villages to get different books. I think that's quite interesting. That's not my issue with this at all. My issue is with the secondary effects it has that makes just the game a whole lot more grindy, and yet again takes control away from the player. And this has been my issue with the changes they've been making to the game over the last few years and months, where it just seems like they're taking more and more control away from the player in a game that is designed to give the player control, such as, you know, fill in the bottom half of the world with 64 layers of deep slate and then saying, yeah, but you can't insta-mine it. Why can't you give us a tool so we can insta-mine it? Why can't we have haste level 3 if we spend enough things? Why can't we get efficiency 6? Why, you know, what's your reasoning behind that? Well, because we don't think the player should be able to do this. Why? Who says? Who made you in charge? You know, and this is just another one of those things. It's on the face of it, oh, that's quite interesting, isn't it? That was going to make it loads easier to get the book you actually want, because the villagers have a lot less books to choose from. Yeah, makes it loads easier to, like, actually get the villagers to give you the book that you're after. Great. But then you've got to go through this awful process of enchanting them, not enchanting, of combining them, getting loads of XP. And the other thing is, you know, again, totally oversight for Java, for Bedrock Edition. If you're playing Java Edition, great, because if you're making a farm, you're relying on entity cramming, which means you don't need any materials or enchanted materials. If you want to make a good farm on Bedrock Edition, you're using a Trident Killer. And the way to make that, like, as effective as a Java Edition farm is to have Impaling 5 tridents. But the villagers don't sell Impaling 5 anymore, which means, or they don't sell any Impaling, any trident enchantments, means the only way that you can get a trident enchantment is from either fishing or from loot. No, not even from loot. You don't get them from loot, do you? Oh, from a enchantment table is what I'm thinking of. Which means you don't tend to get Impaling on its own. It's normally with like loyalty or channeling or something else. And if you've got those on there, it doesn't work. So they've basically, alongside of doing that, totally nerfed our ability to farm things at a decent rate. So there's loads of issues with it that just haven't been thought of. Too expensive should go. If I want to spend 248 levels on renaming my wings, it should be my choices, Rough. I agree, but I also think they should totally re-level that, because that's way too much. Way too much. Why should it be so expensive to combine books? You've gone through the process of getting those books. Why should it be so expensive to combine them? That doesn't make any sense.
Unnecessary sacrifice.
If you've got enchanted books, why shouldn't you be able to use those enchanted books in whatever combination you want? Why should there be a limit to how many you can combine together? Why should XP even come into it? Why can't we get beacon effects like potions, says C. Durbin. That'd be nice. They need to make jungle and swap villages naturally spawn. I think that's going to be hindering newer and experienced players. No, I don't agree that that's the case. I do agree that new players are going to be a lot more confused with this. And the other thing, the other issue with this that goes against everything Mojang have said recently, we're trying to steer the game in a direction so that players are, intuitively know what to do, right? Okay, great. Now you're putting in a system that requires us to have a wiki. We need a wiki to remember what, enchantments are going to be available for what type of villages in what type of biome. That's not, under any stretch of the imagination, that's not it's not intuitive. Not intuitive at all. And who's going to go, right? Are they really expecting players to go to a village, get a librarian, roll its trades, and roll and going, I don't seem to be on this random chance value getting the one that I want. Maybe I should move this villager to another biome, create a brand new village there, and see if I have better luck at this other biome, and roll. They might just be unlucky. It's still random loot generation. There's no way of the player knowing whether they're going to get it or not. So unless you're going to use a cheated resource pack or the wiki, then you are totally stuck with this new system. So it goes against what they've said. I think it's crazy. Absolutely crazy, the ideas that are behind these changes. And there are better ways of doing it, in my opinion. Don't forget the blocks on the ground with despawning, says Griffin. At the end of the day, Minecraft is a game supposed to be fun. Minecraft is my escape from in real life. If they keep upping the grind, then IRL will be my escape from Minecraft. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Absolutely. They are adding more and more grind to the game constantly, and it's just getting to the point where it's not fun. Now, I don't know if this is just me having played Minecraft for so many years that I'm just getting a little bit jaded with it and just a little bit tired. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe my time's more valuable than it used to be, and I just, don't have as much to waste on these things. Maybe a few years ago, I wouldn't have been so bothered about having to grind so much. That could be the case, or it could be that I'm sharing the same experience as a lot of you guys that haven't been playing for as many years and just also dislike these grindy parts that we have to go through. Foxy, when you talk about mob caps on... Can you talk about mob caps on Bedrock Edition? On BDX? Oh, what, on servers? No different to Bedrock Edition. Feel like they ruined the no wiki idea with 1.20. Explain, Irish Viking. What else have they done that ruins the no wiki idea? In my opinion, the content creators need to complain loudly against these changes to Mojang. They might listen. The problem is the content creators they listen to. So this is a really tricky situation, right? So content creators have figured out that if they're really nice to Mojang and they're a big channel and they only say the nice things, then Mojang will listen to them and they'll invite them to things like Minecraft Live, or they will, you know, invite them to games or do things with them, or invite them to that Minecraft Now thing that they were doing monthly, the live stream thing. And content creators, therefore, and this is a very clever part on Mojang's part, therefore less likely to say something negative about the game in the hopes that they might get noticed by Mojang and invited to these things, and they're then on the inner circle. So then you've got this issue where the content creators that Mojang are listening to tend to be the ones that don't like saying anything negative against their ideas, and therefore Mojang think all of their ideas are brilliant, right? And that's the problem. You watch Minecraft Live last time, and it was basically the pre-show was half an hour of people from around the world and Hermitcraft saying how wonderful the game is and how great the game is to play as friends. Sounds like a clever game of politics, says Griffin. It is, it's absolutely. We don't want content creators saying negative things about our game because we've got to sell this game to as many people as possible to keep the money coming in. So how do we get those content creators on our side? Well, we'll incentivize them with if you do this, then you might do that. You could get in to become part of the team. If you know, we'll invite you to stuff and you'll be important to us. It is definitely a game of politics, 100%. And it's so therefore you're not going to get as much backlash on these ideas and changes as you would generally do if these people were being honest with themselves, as we would have done before. So they're not going to get changed. Doc77 was trying to give them feedback from his following, but got shot down by Mojang saying it's not what they hear from the most of the community. Yet it's Doc M77, his community is really large. Doesn't mean that they're that doesn't, just because this is another issue as well. Just because a YouTuber has a big following and a large community doesn't mean they're speaking on behalf of the community. You'll find that like people will swarm around Doc M77 because he has a particular he has a particular way of thinking about the game. He's got particular ideas, he's got particular wants that are unique to him, and those people that relate to him will swarm around him. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody feels that same way, because then you've got a totally different content creator with totally different ideas and opinions on how the game could be played or should be played, that has an equally large following but thinks totally differently, right? Just because a large content creator has an idea about something does not make that a right idea, even if all of their followers are saying the same thing. You need to be getting this information from everybody that plays the game, not just a handful of, influencers. And I think sometimes these ideas do come through from these influencers without any thought to anything else going on, which is a problem. And and like in that situation that you've just said there, Doc M77 clearly said something that they weren't in an agreement with and used that trump card against him. No, sorry, mate. Uno, reverse. Surrounded by yes men situation, says GT Roberts. Exactly. Do you like the new feature where each villager in different biomes has a different trade like Swamp has mending, says Dad Arkness. I've just been through that. If you want to, watch the VOD or rewind a thing of like 15 minutes, then that's literally what I've just been talking about. Doc did have some devs come to Hermitcraft a while ago, says Justinator. Take X for example, Izuma. He does make videos still on how he thinks the game could be bettered, but he won't ever say anything strongly negative about something. He'll never express a strong negative opinion about something because he understands how to play the game. Right? But he will make videos that say, I don't think this is right, I think it should be better done like this. And he doesn't always get listened to from it, but that's a very smart way of doing things because he's kind of winning both arguments there. So we need more people like that are going to say, hey, yeah, these are great ideas, but, maybe you should consider doing it like this. rather than just being really angry about all of the ideas, because being angry about something isn't never going to change it. You need to stop the rants then, says Red Lane Dog. I mean, if I wanted to make a change, yeah, sure. If I wanted to be Mojang's best friend and try and get involved with their things, then a good way of doing that would be for me to stop ranting about things and start blowing smoke up their noses. But I'm not going to do that, because that's not me. I like to be... my passion I wear on my sleeve. My emotions I wear on my sleeve. If I feel strongly about something, I share that strongly. I'm not going to be persuaded to not do that just because I think, you know, I should be more gentle with my approach. X may be leaving Hermitcraft soon. Maybe his opinions will change once he's away from the brand, says Ruff. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think his way of doing things is obviously very you know, particular to him, and I think he's doing it correctly. What's your opinion on the villager nerves, says Dr. Grimm. I've just been through that a few minutes ago. If you want to either check the VOD or rewind a few minutes, I've just been through that in quite hefty detail. Irish Viking says, Trim's Trail Ruins Sniffer. If you've ever seen anything about Minecraft, you wouldn't know how to get them. Also, wouldn't even know about how to handle the sand and gravel. You're right, you wouldn't necessarily need to know that you needed a brush to get that stuff out. But I wouldn't, it's not something you would go to the wiki for. I don't think the Trail Ruins is something you go to the wiki for. And I don't think the Sniffer is something you go to the wiki for. I think all of those things work. You might not necessarily know you need a brush for the Trail Ruins, but realistically, I can't see anything else there that's... if you've got a brush and you know how the sand works, chances are at some point or other you're going to come across a sniffer egg. At some point or other you're going to try and place that in the world, and some point or other that's going to turn into a sniffer. You know? I don't think that requires a wiki, that just requires a little bit of gameplay. Foxy without rants is not Foxy, says Redwood Crafts. Right. Once you're world president, you'll be able to force Mojang to fix Minecraft. Yeah, but I wouldn't want Minecraft just to be totally the way I want it. I mean, of course I would for me, but not everybody wants to play the way I think should be played. It would ruin the game for so many people. Who's to say I'm right? I mean, chances are that you'll agree more with my line of thinking than you will others. That's why you watch my channel, because we have a similar line of thinking and therefore I'm relatable. But that doesn't mean we're right and anyone else is wrong. Just because we have an opinion on something, maybe it's an educated opinion, maybe it's something based on having played the game for so many years and seen it from so many angles, maybe it's a strong opinion. Doesn't mean it's the right opinion. Do you think that bringing back the old... what do you think of bringing back the old tutorial world, says Redwood Crafts? What tutorial world? Roth says, I'm not sure you'd even notice the soft sand and gravel if you didn't know about it. Probably not. But then, therefore, it's not really going to affect your game, is it? Wishlist idea. Grindstone allows you to select which enchantment to remove instead of all enchantments, says Lorenzo. That would be quite useful. But then, why would you... think of a circumstance where you're really going to need that other than trying to get, you know, something that's not impaling off a trident. Because otherwise, you're trying to put that book onto a piece of equipment. It's already not going to put on the things that don't go on that equipment. So... I don't really see how that's going to be all that useful for people, really. Other than for tridents. Are you going to process a Trail Ruins, Foxy, on a live stream at some point? I've done 2 of them. I will never, ever, ever, from how I feel at the moment and how I felt when I was doing them, I will never, ever, ever go to another Trail Ruins intentionally. If I ever do come across one by accident while digging, I'm not going to brush any of the blocks. I'm just going to destroy it. I hate them. I absolutely despise them. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't exist in the game because other people really enjoy them. That might change in the future, right? That might be... something might happen. I might feel differently, or maybe there's a competition I'm part of where it's go and see who can get the best stuff from the Trail Ruins. I don't know. But the way I feel right now, I would never, ever, ever intentionally go to another Trail Ruins and do anything with them because I absolutely despise them. Curse of banishing, says John Musgrove. Sorry, I meant binding. Would you rather have... yeah, How would you know about... How would you know about the brush? That's why they're pushing recipe unlock so heavily. Yeah, speaking of, right? So recipe unlocking. This one got me. There was a changelog in the latest one that said that they're thinking that you shouldn't be able to craft items that you haven't unlocked on the recipe book. And that's something they're considering. Which, fine, but you're only going to be able to craft items that you've unlocked, because if you've got the items to craft together, you should have unlocked the recipe. So the only way that works if the recipe unlock system's bugged out and hasn't given you the recipe, right? If you've got a stick and 2 pieces of wood or 2 wooden planks, you should be able to craft a sword, and you should have unlocked the recipe for a sword. If you haven't unlocked that recipe and therefore you can't craft the sword, then something's wrong. I think the locking out that ability only, it means that, well, what a stupid idea, basically. If you've got the ingredients to make something, you know how to craft it, craft it. Why should you only be able to craft it if it shows up in your book? And if it doesn't show up in your book, why isn't it there if you've got the materials to do it? Stupid ideas these people come up with. My goodness me. Minecraft used to have a tutorial world where they explained some basic game concepts. Right, okay. Only in console, I think. Still can't stand Trail Ruins now because of going through the pain with you on stream too, says Red Lone Dog. Tutorial world was on Legacy. Walked you through castle with some... yeah, that was on console, wasn't it? Is it really truly Bedrock, though? What do you mean by that? Again, they made changes, then they make changes to fix that. They make the changes that they make, right? Yeah. Right, where are we at? I feel like I'm at a stopping point here. I don't really know what else to do with this today. We're 10 minutes off my normal finish time, so it does mean we'll be finishing a little bit earlier than normal. But yeah, I've kind of done for today. So let's see if we've got anyone we can send a raid over to. Puka. Go and say hello to Puka for me, will you? Because I'm going to go now. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all, hopefully, tomorrow evening. Then, goodbye. I say goodbye. I've got to wait for 10 seconds of the raid now. Hang on. 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.